Hey, what's up guys? So, you're wanting to know, how do I go ahead and get an advanced wagon, right? Here's what I recommend if you're wanting to get a wagon. So what you want to do is you want to go basically straight to the market, okay? And what you're going to need is you're going to need about 5,000 hex coin. To do this, I recommend what you do is look at your buy and your market, okay? You want to look for items in here that look like they're in high demand. You can see obviously there's some random numbers in there, right? The main thing I'm going to get at is you want to look at for items that they don't have that are used for traveler tasks. The reason why is so if, let's say for example, okay, if I go over to Sabim here, go to traveler tasks, if you want to view what items are going to be high in demand, you can either go after the byproduct of what is required for the task, or you can go for the items used to make the task. I usually go after what items are made for the task, which are usually going to be devoted to kilns, smelters, or in the case of the clothing profession, looms. And what you ultimately want to do is you want to sell these items because typically, if you get like, you know, in the case of timber, it's like 20 planks or 10 planks, depending on, I forget which it is, but, you know, heck, you know, we can always do Alt-C and or Alt-click, left-click, and it'll tell you. So like here, it's 20 rough planks. All right, but in essence, what I'm saying is that you want to do your traveler tasks, but you also want to sell the traveler task items. These typically sell fast, and therefore you want to try and meet demand. Now, when you do this, you'll get 5,000 hex coins. When you do that, all right, the next thing you're going to need to do to be able to get the wagon is to go to Brico. Brico is construction, and the trick to Brico is really straightforward. You go to Traveler Tasks. You can do Traveler Task items, but you got to get to level 20 construction. If you want the brain dead easy way to do this, I recommend just basically go collect some sticks, press B, go to your terraforming dig site, go terraform and just dig until you get to level 20. So much easier to get to level 20. Okay, but once you've done that, then you can go to trade, and when you have level 20, you want to buy wagon logistics training for 5,000. This will allow you to buy a wagon. However, it's not so simple. You still got to get simple timber, which means you've got to go out and get tier 2 nodes of timber, which is also planks, so you got to get 20 planks, which also means, you know, you got to get a set amount. So this green area is tier 1, this dark green is tier 2. Okay, so if you ever want to know, you can always, you know, just kind of poke around, but like in this particular area, I would recommend going to like Port Taverna, or you can even go to, you know, different locations on the map. But the main gist that I'm getting at here is that you want to go to those locations not because of the fact that they've got access to tier 2 resources, but the fact that when you start to at the ruined cities, you've only got one kiln. If you go to like some of the player made towns, there's usually 1, 2, 3, or even up to 4, and sometimes 5 of these buildings, which makes the amount of time that it takes you to smelt bricks, looms, what have you, they're going to have multiples of, which means it goes that much faster when you're wanting to do a lot of econ related things, right? But once you've acquired this, you can then go to the market, go to the trade tab, and go buy yourself a wagon. And then honestly, if you want my honest opinion, look and see if you can just buy the timber outright. And then you can jump straight from improved to advanced in a matter of seconds. I would say if you're lucky, you can get this for under 10k hex coin and get the highest tier wagon easy peasy. So that's what I recommend if you are wanting to get the wagon in the game. And I mean, honestly, that logic can be applied to the skiff, which is the boat in the game. And if you're wondering again, who, how, why, what do I do to do sailing? I mean, again, you just go to Sabim. And the main gist here is the same principle. I mean, really all you're going to do is get sailing training. So you can get the skiff training as well. So like here, we'll go ahead and buy it. Buy the skiff sailing training. You can buy a raft training if you want it. And basically, you want to get the skiff, which means you got to get simple timber and a simple cloth tarp. You can also get a cargo ship, which is tier 4, and that's, you know, but 9, tier 9, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6. Obviously, the main gist that I'm trying to get across to you is sailing is the long-term, long game. If you're wanting to make really good money over across entire cities, which again, if you're wondering, you know, how do you min-max making profit in this game? Honestly, you just go to the market search and start comparing demand between different cities and match demand. And if you're wondering, well, how do I know what demand is? Just look and see if there's a buy price. Like if the easy peasy ones are obviously, you know, look for tier 1 rough bricks in that city. Look for tier 1 cloth. Look for tier 1, you know, ingots. If they don't have an established demand for it, if you fill that demand and there are tier 1 players in there, I promise you, you're probably going to sell in those cities, just from the standpoint that players are going to need them for their traveler tasks, and conveniently, you know, that same logic will apply for tier 2. But I will say that the higher demand is always going to be on the tier 1 items, just in lieu of how many new players are in the game at this current time making this video. That said, if you do that, that should get you the wagon. It's the same logic can be applied to get the skiff or any of the other boats and the improved cart. I hope this helped you, and thank you guys for watching.